this is going to be a VOD review of a Archon 3 Anti-Mage carry. In the notes, I see that they feel that they're not, that they're primarily a support player. But they tried carry. They feel like they're not bad at carry. It just felt a little boring. And you're just looking for to find your mistakes as well as how you just play carry better. Since this is an AM game, it'll be a little more AM centric because AM plays different than regular carries due to the fact of how slippery he can be with Blink Dagger. You also feel you don't belong in Archon, and you just want to see if I can see if I can make any sense out of it. We'll take a look. I'm gonna assume there's gonna be the same mistakes I'll see out of most Archon players, and there's gonna be stuff that you do better than like Heralds and Crusaders. Let's see. Player view. We're just
skip
AFK for a whole minute.
It's on now, Tex. Hope we enjoy the show.
I think the easiest thing to say is just like don't be AFK for the first minute, because if something were to happen, you're not able to like react in time. Like if your team suddenly sees 5 heroes while they're making this play, that means you're able to get this rune for free. You kind of ran out as the wave is spawning, and that forced you to take a detour to grab this bounty rune because your team lost the rune fight, and also because you had to go blink. You went blink because you were late. You missed out on the mana break on getting mana break to harass, especially against a Wraith King, because all he has is one spell, and if you're able to just drain his mana, which you will always do constantly because he's melee, you're not really going to be in any danger. Yeah, if you had mana break here, you can just be harassing the Wraith King a lot more, because mana break will deal damage based on mana burned as well. Mana burned as damage, 25 plus 1.6%. 1.6, like 3, so you're burning like 30 mana or so. So that's a bonus 15 damage off of mana break there. I don't think you've hit the Wraith King. One thing to really note, especially on like heroes with escape abilities, you do not want to commit your mobility spell if there's any chance of you dying. In this case, if Wraith King had stun, he could have just stunned you and suddenly you're getting hit by him and Invoker right here. Like, you want to make sure your mobility spell is always up, unless you can actually guarantee that you're going to be fine without it. There will be a lot of games like a Morphling or a Quab or a Storm Spear game where like they will die and feed if they're caught without their mobility spell. Either like they just committed a jump or the jump is on cooldown, and then that way it's going to be very easy for them to get locked down. Nice, you broke his salve. I like your creep aggroing.
Denied.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I was about to say I didn't like how the wave is just constantly up here, because this just neuters your harass potential onto the enemy heroes. Like, everyone uses mana, you can have so much more damage if you're able to hit them with the mana break. But since it's like just up for 3 minutes, this is gonna be fine because like you're setting up for the Lotus.
Denied.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, thankfully you had your escape spell here and you were able to get out. You also had your Lotus to save you as well. I don't think you need to buy boots. You need to, oh, you do have regen. Okay, I was about to say you need to buy a second set of regen here. Maybe it would have been better if we got a salve just so you're able to like instantly be back in the lane. I'm not sure how much time we're going to be granted to muck around here. Is he not? Oh, he's not dewarding. Whatever.
Radiant's courier is dead.
Tough.
Just following orders.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about. If you want to be a little more proactive in like controlling your courier, you can just select your courier and select it under your tower. That way you will know, that way it's always guaranteed to get to you. Like, in cases where you're going against a 4 who's like dead set on like hunting your courier, that's where having better control over your courier is going to come in handy. Like, Invoker sees your courier here, and you could have like called it out or did something, but it just randoms by Wraith King who gets a free hit on it. And because of that, you lose out on the region that you desperately needed in this lane.
Were you paying attention?
Because their harass is just them doing the Wraithfire Blast into dumping everything on you. In terms of that, their damage is all nuke base. Getting a salve would be very helpful here because you are able to instantly go back in and keep farming instead of having to wait around for like the tangos to kick in.
Bounty.
Now you're forced to go back because you have nothing. Able to farm all that. That's good. I'm not a big fan of the Wraith ban. It can be good if you're looking to just fight in the lane, but every anti-mage I've seen, as well as like every Battle Fairy builder, they're often just, their goal is to rush the cornucopia, because this is what gives you sustain and lets you just not have to buy any more regen. Instead of the money for the cornucopia, you're putting it into treads and Wraithband, which tells me you want to fight in the lane because you think you can actually get kills. But we'll see if they actually get you any kills, but I kind of doubt it since you haven't really hit heroes since with the mana break.
Nothing good happening to Radiant's middle tower.
Cornucopia money, nice. You got the kill, but 350 gold. That looked like it was a long time of you chasing the Wraith King.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower.
Yeah, that was... Hold on, how long did you spend on this?
Look at Dire's bottom tower then. Is Dire going to let that middle tower fall?
54.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Took you like 30 seconds to kill the Wraith King? I'm just curious. If you're not losing creeps, it's completely fine. I'm just curious if you lost creeps.
Tower is about to fall.
1, 2,
Dire's top tower is
3. Yeah, okay, yeah, that was worth it. That was worth it. You're a little low on HP, but you do have that tangos to kick in.
Is Dire going to let that middle tower fall? Radiant's middle tower is under Radiant's tower. Good happening to Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, they come in your lane, therefore you leave, you jungle, keep an eye on the lane in case the wave is just free for you to farm, like this. People left, so you're just shoving it out. Nice, you're able to see the 14-minute wisdom. Unlucky you couldn't get the kill. Battle Fairy is going to be a little delayed because your courier is dead. You're going home, which is going to resolve like you not having TP. Nice, you have TP. Battle Fury is like 16 minutes, which is like, I'd say it's fine. I'm not too sure on the timings, but it looks fine. I am glad you kind of just left your bottom lane going towards your off, because this allows you to like push a shove and push the wave in. Oh, never mind, come back here. It's fine. They're all grouping top anyways. Sark hasn't left the top lane. Nice. I'm glad you're hitting like the big value camps, the hard camp, the ancient camp. I'm just wondering if you could have hit more camps. Okay, yeah, this was a kind of a waste. You take this hard camp, and then you blink back here, but there's nothing. If you aren't sure where the enemy creeps are, just look on the opposite side. Look in your own lane, where your offlane creeps are. That's where their offlane creeps are, and this will always be a perfect match until they're actually stopped by like another creep wave or a pull. And as long as like the creep wave isn't like under the tower running out, there's no reason for you to be coming back here to farm. Like, you just have your farming item. You should be looking to play for secure. You should be looking to play for secure. Running over here is kind of scary. Isn't safe at all, because yeah, you can pick up this farm here, but like the Wraith King is there to stop you. You don't know if anyone's TPing in, and like there's no contest. There's no contest for like this farm. No one's here to like steal the CS away from you. You can let this wave to push out until it meets your creep wave, and as long as you're able to come back in time, like no value is going to be lost out of this. Yeah, this is completely fine. You're going to miss like 2 or 3 creeps off of this wave, but you were able to make a stack and clear the ancients by yourself. You have the Yasha coming in. Now it's kind of sus. I know you TP'd up here to try to join the fight, but like the fight's already over and there's nothing for you to do. Now you're forced to share the farm with two other heroes. Well, 3 other heroes, so because your lead is coming up. And that's fine. You were able to clean up the tower. I can justify that. XD. Yeah, I can tell you're a support player. You're prioritizing the wisdom runes, the wisdom shrines at 14 and 21, and because in this Archon lobby, no one's really going for it. No one's really keeping them at the forefront of their mind. It's just free for you to take. Yeah, laning, CSing, objectives-wise, it looks fine. This does look like an Archon player. Like, nothing seems too out of place for here. 214 CS at 22 minutes. Yeah, that's typical. I will say you are definitely still like Archon, because you're still playing on the bottom half. You're still prioritizing the bottom half of the map, and you're not really looking to like further the game state. If you were to transition out of here into the top half of the map, that's where you can actually start climbing as a carry. Because if you're farming primarily in their jungle in the top half of the map, you're able to just shove out top lane into their tower, as well as shoving out mid lane into their tower. You'll have access to like all these camps, as well as 2 lanes, and then based off of that, you can bait people to actually come in to rotate into you. Like, if you're shoving into the top tower, people are going to TP in to save it and to stop you and to kill you. But because you're an anti-mage, you're just going to blink away and just go elsewhere to farm. You have 2 ways to do that. The top lane and the mid lane to do that. Off of bottom, not really, because taking this tower doesn't really do much in terms of like map control and map pressure, because they have the shrine to like maintain control over this area. Yeah, all you're doing right now is just taking the safe farm, and like, yeah, this is fine, but you're not getting like as much value out of the map. You're not furthering the game state at all. Like, this game will continue going forward until like either Dire wins or your team wins without you. And I did see that your team won at 34 minutes, but it's also important to note that you have the lowest kill participation on your team. You're part of 10 kills compared to the next lowest, which is what, 12 on the sniper. And like, sure, you have the highest CS, you have the highest net worth, but then comes the question of how do you translate that into having impact in the game. And in terms of that, that just looks like farming in the right areas of the map and getting you access to pushing lanes and forcing enemies to react to you. Like, it's at 27 minutes, there's 18 kills. You've only been part of 3 of them. Nice, you got a solo kill on the carry, but it's like, it's such a very low kill participation, and you've only just got up here. Like, if you're worried about the enemies coming to gank you and kill you, you said you're a support player, so this is where you just buy your own observer wards and throw them like up here, like over here on the cliff, back here even, just so you're able to see people who are trying to come and kill you. Like, as an anti-mage, you're one of the slipperiest heroes, so you want to be able to push your limits as much as possible. That's going to be like shoving this wave out with your main hero and then TPing and then blinking out before they even like react, as well as just like going as deep as you can, stealing camps away that normally they would take for themselves.
Dire's top tower has some radiant
like this safe farm can only really be this level of safe farm should only really be done on like heroes like Spectre or Nature's Prophet, because at least those heroes have like global ways to actually join fights and kills. Whereas on an anti-mage, well, your hero has to be in the area. Your blink is only so far away.
Jax thinks Radiant's bottom tower is about to fall. Dire's top tower. Dire's top tower.
Yeah, like this is what I mean. Yeah, you're able to like steal the camp out under their nose and still get away. That's a brave duel. I just learned never duel a Wraith King because that can happen. How did you die? I know how you die. I'm just wondering how you got into the situation. Like, you got caught out without blink, and then suddenly they were able to like chain stun you down. One thing on AM, whenever you go in, you want to use your counter spell, because like you don't know if or when they're going to cast spells on you. Especially if they're going to cast it from fog, you have no way to dictate like where they're when they're going to cast it in. Nice. Like, because of how slippery AM is, and because how Blink has such a low cooldown, the 6 seconds between your Blink cooldowns is when you need to buy as much time as possible. And that's where you like use counter spell to buy a second, buy a second and a half. You can use Mantis style to buy another half a second. And at that point, you only need to wait like 4 seconds before you're already able to blink out. Yeah, this is a very free AM game. Like, your team is carrying you. You're able to do whatever you want. Yeah, main priority out of this replay is like the first 25 minutes, I would say. Laning, nothing to really worry about, other than just like harass the enemy hero. If you want practice, since you said you're a support player, just focus on harassing the enemy heroes as a support. You can practice it on heroes like what am I thinking of? Like a Pugna, a Muerta, any of the range supports that you should be trying to auto attack the enemies as much as possible. Once that becomes your muscle memory as a support, carry that over into carry. Bring that over into a carry role. The one you're learning right now. And that way you're going to be able to up your harass level, increase the damage the enemy takes, and that's going to secure you control over the camp, control over the creeps. Because what the control over the wave looks like is you're able to take all the farm out of the wave, as well as adding like the nearby jungle camps into your farm rotations. And as the carry, that's your biggest priority. You want to increase your farm intake, just so you are able to hit your mid-game item timings much faster. Like instead of like a 16-minute Battle Fury where nothing happens in the lane, you can get like a 13-minute Battle Fury when you have like 2 kills or like 50 more CS. Like easy marker, we'll say like at 10 minutes here, CS level. 10 minutes, you have 62 CS, which is not bad. You hit the 50 CS threshold, but there's always room for improvements. Imagine you were able to actually add in like the pole camps for your CS rotations. Imagine you had like better control over the creep wave, especially like that first wave where like you missed like 2 CS, I think. Like you can easily hit 65, 70, maybe even 80 CS if you were able to fix up these things in the lane. And then as for once you get Battle Fury, you want to increase like focus on like where you can play on the map for impact. Like my initial look through, I didn't say anything about this because like your team is like focused up here. You are your placement down here just maximizes how much farm your team is getting across the entire map. Sniper is getting the farm in the mid lane. Your Legion is getting the farm in the off lane. Your supports are helping the Legion like pressure the tower, which is forcing the heroes to come up here. And then you are the cherry on the top, getting all this farm in the bottom half of the map, completely uncontested. But if this were to ever flip, I think they come. Well, it doesn't flip, but like if you were to join them, suddenly you would lose out on all this farm down here, and you're forced to share everything up here with your entire team. Like look at this farm being lost mid because Sniper came up here. Look at all this farm being lost bottom because you're not here. You could be hitting all these camps by yourself, getting solo gold and solo XP off of it, instead of sharing the XP across, what is this, 2, 3, 4 heroes. Like ironically, out of everything here, Legion is doing the right thing because Legion is just getting this farm by herself with no one getting within the XP range. If you're able to do that for yourself, just make sure you're getting a solo farm guaranteed without anyone nearby, you're going to be like 2 or 3 or 4 levels up, because that is how pros and smurfs and like high level players are able to get like 10 levels up on the carry over like enemy support, and then you just one-shot them. If you're able to just increase your farm intake, then like if you're able to increase your farm intake, you're gonna have like 2 items over the enemy carry, and then you're able to just one-shot them, even on a hero like AEM, who is notorious for having a weak stat gain.
Bid farewell to Dire's top tower. Radiant are scanning for a Dire's top tower.
That's whatever.
Dire's bottom tower.
And then I think the final point I'm going to repeat, that just to drive it home, is just farming in the right spot, which is like what I mentioned here. That once the lanes have fully collapsed like this, you want to play in the part of the map where like you're gonna have the most impact. Like if your team is grouping like mid or somewhere else, that's where you want to group. That's where you want to be like putting yourself into like into your off lane, into the enemy jungle, because this is so much farm that you're stealing away from the enemy that suddenly they're not able to take. And then you still have your camps to take if you just clear all this fast enough. Yeah, top tower just stays full HP, mid tower stays full HP. But if you're able to shove the waves in, you'll slowly chip the towers down bit by bit. compared to just sitting down here, hitting like the safest farm. If you haven't seen it, I know it's like an hour and a half long, but Zach of Zeke Exotics has like a very good video on focus on farming. I haven't seen the full video. I'm like halfway through myself, but just off of the thumbnail itself, you'll see how he has split up the map as like, from the Draenus perspective, this is dangerous farm because it's in the Dire's territory. This is useless farm because it exerts no pressure. This is safe farm because like you're able to like exert some pressure and still get a lot of farm. And then this is the most useful because you're able to siege a tower and chip it down and actually force heroes to come into you. Otherwise, they will lose out on like map control because of their tower. That'll really be the only homework I'll give to you, just so you can like just to change your perspective on how to view a farm. Just to view how to play the map, because not all farm across the map is valued the same. Like, yeah, you'll get the same amount of gold and XP, but in terms of map pressure, the intangible thing that's hard to measure in the game, that's where like farming certain areas of the map is going to be very, very handy.